Welcome back. This is Miss Darling in the studio, and we are working on getting a signature of beautiful papers, including rice papers, together for a Japanese wedding and memory journal that I'm making for my sister. So my dilemma has been trying to get my holes to line up right in the middle. When you open the book up to the middle, I don't want my holes out to the side, which seems to be kind of a common problem. So what I've done is I've divided my signature in half so there's fewer pages, and I'm starting with the middle section, and I've put my 3 holes in. I have one here above center so that I can always tell which side is up, and then one down here. And so I'm going to go ahead and put my holes in. Okay, do I want to put a 3/8 inch hole in, or what's this? A 1/8 inch, or 3/16 or 1/8 inch. 1/8 inch would show less and is sufficiently big enough. I think I'll go with the smaller hole rather than the bigger one, because I'm not going to be putting eyelets in. That's the hole for an eyelet, and this is for that, so I want to use the 1/8 inch. And bringing it in from the side. I have to move my clamps here a little bit. Don't know if you can see that or not. How'd we come out on the other side? Pretty good. Pretty good. Okay. And then I'm going to move it around to the other side to get the bottom hole. Okay. That's better. Now my holes are lining up in the center of the back page. So now I'm going to stick this in here. You want to make sure you have the top with the top, and this is the top of the outer section of my signature. So I'm going to line that up, and then I'm going to mark where my holes fall. And I want to make sure that as best I can, that the holes will be right in the middle of the fold on the back end. So this is the top. that clamp come off. Okay. And I hope this makes me happy. Alright, so I'll take my middle section and put it back in and remove my clamps. And tuck it in there. So the holes are right in the middle, in the center, and line up quite good on the back end, but that's not going to be as noticeable as it would be if they did not line up in the middle, when you open it up to the center. So I think we're good to go. Now I'll need to put corresponding holes in the cover itself. So we want to put our hole right in the middle. We're working with a 1/2 inch spine, and so we want our hole to land right in the middle of that spine. And so we'll use this as our guide. Mills right about through there. So I have a hole here and a hole here. And one down there. Let's just double check to make sure we're reasonably in the middle, and we are. So now I'll punch the holes in the cover. This is a little more difficult to do. It's very difficult to see. You have to kind of look down from the side. Okay. What's hanging us up? Oh dear, it's the decoration. So I'm going to have to work from this side. No problem. It's actually easier. And the last hole. Okay. And here's where we just hope and pray everything is going as planned. So white will be the best to use. I'm going to get out an embroidery needle and take what I do is I take 3 lengths from top to bottom 3 times, and that will give me plenty of thread to sew it properly. And have some left over in case I decide to hang a little dangle down in the middle, which I sometimes like to do. I might do that for my sister. She might enjoy that. She has done a ton of beading for wedding dresses and bridesmaid gowns through the years, and I've certainly been the recipient of her generosity in sharing many of her supplies with me. Okay. I'm going to get through the first section and then line up in the second section. So far so good. And now through the cover. Good. And pull it through, leave a tail hanging out. And then you come up to the top hole of the cover and you go through that and work your way through. I should have left my clamps on, but we're doing okay. Alright. And now we drop down to the bottom hole. That was easier. Pull some of it through, make sure we have a tail there. And now we're going to come up the middle again and find our way through once again. Find where my needle's coming through. Well, it's part way through. Yep. I have to take it page by page, I guess. There we go. And voila, we're all the way through. So now We're going to make sure one tail is on one side of this center thread and the other tail is on the other side, and that gives us something to tie on to. And so we just kind of pull it, not super tight because that's going to cause it to buckle, but we want it to be tight enough so that it's not going to wiggle inside the cover. So just, just pull on it a little bit, but don't do it too much. And then you can knot it off. I go at least 3 times, and you see I have enough length left that I can put a dangle on there. And since I haven't decided yet if I will or not, I'm not going to cut it. So yeah, we got off a little bit. You can see a couple of the pages are a little high on one side, but I can trim that by hand and should be fine. And at least it's together, and my holes are perfectly centered in the middle, which was a great concern to me because the last journal I made, it did not turn out so well, and then I had to take extra steps to, cover that over, and I didn't want to have to do that again. So I'm going to just clean up here real quick, put my needle back so I don't stab myself in the future, and yeah. So we now have the signature installed into the cover, and I think it's going to finish out very well. All we have to do now is some embellishments, maybe a dangle or two, and some maybe trim on the outside, we'll see. And you can see that here are the 3 holes and the embroidery thread that I used to sew it together. It's not real obvious, but I think I will glue some lace down there to cover that up. And so, yeah, I'm real pleased how it's coming along. Thank you for being with me and sticking with me. And so that's all for this particular segment. And please come back and we will embellish it and hopefully get it finished up in that video. Be sure and check my Etsy shop and the description box for resources. And please subscribe, like the video, and leave me a comment. I would appreciate it, especially if you find it of value to you. That's encouraging to me. So, with that said, this is Miss Starling calling this a wrap. Bye-bye.